Hello and welcome to this video tutorial, how to edit the .cty file. ServiceDesk has internal mechanisms found at Control F5 to make changes to your .city file. This should always be your primary resource for making changes to your city listing. However, on occasion you may find that you need to directly edit your .cty file. Utmost caution should be used when doing so. This video will provide you with the needed instruction. First, we'll demonstrate the proper way to use the Change Add City Names function found in Control F5. This would typically be used in the following scenario. You have a zip code where a more common local name is used instead of the city provided by the Census Bureau. An example of this might be 98155, which is Seattle, Washington, but could also be Shoreline or Lake Forest Park. If you have a new subdivision added to your territory and there are no streets from this area in your data, it would be sufficient to simply add the city to your .cty file. However, if there are already streets in your data, you'll need to change each street listing to reflect the new city name. To do so, we're going to go to the street function, which is Control F5. Next, select Change Add City Names. Acknowledge the warning, and then enter the zip code associated with the city name you'd like to change. In this case, we'll enter 98155. Next, enter the 2- or 3-letter abbreviation you'd like associated with this city. Each abbreviation must be unique. If you're associating a new zip code with an existing city, enter the established abbreviation. In this case, Shoreline is not in our existing city list, so we'll add the abbreviation SHO. ServiceDesk recognizes that SHO is not in our current list of cities and asks us if we'd like to add it. We'll say yes. Next, we'll enter the full city name, including the comma and the state abbreviation. Confirm that the information is correct. We'll say yes. And then confirm that we're ready to change all instances of 98155 from Seattle to Shoreline. So we can see that ServiceDesk changed 236 streets from Seattle to Shoreline. When completed, you'll want to copy this updated .cty and .str file to your other workstations. If your office is set up thin client, that is, all workstations run from the instance of ServiceDesk installed on the server, this won't be necessary. If, however, you have workstations that are running ServiceDesk from a local installation, you'll want to copy these updated files to their local SD folder. We can go ahead and re-enter Ginger Henderson's address. And we find that now it has Shoreline associated instead of Seattle. Perhaps you have a city that has been added but is misspelled. The automated function within ServiceDesk cannot fix that issue. Instead, you'll need to go directly to the .cty file to correct it. In ServiceDesk, go to File Functions, and then select About ServiceDesk. In the lower left-hand corner of the About ServiceDesk form, right-click where it says Running From. This will open Windows Explorer. Now scroll down until you find your custom .cty file. It should be some variation of your company's name. Right-click and choose Open With, and then choose Notepad. We do not recommend using any other program to open this file. This file may appear to be a simple list, but it actually has a specific format. Any break in the format will cause the file to fail. Each line of the text must be exactly 30 characters. The first three characters are for the city abbreviation. The fourth character is a space, and the remaining 26 characters are for the city name, comma, state abbreviation. If your abbreviation plus the space plus the city, the comma, and the state abbreviation is fewer than 30 characters, you must insert spaces using your spacebar for the remaining characters. To demonstrate how this works, we will correct Kenmore, Washington. It has too many N's in it. After saving the file, we'll go back to ServiceDesk and re-enter our Kenmore address. We can see that Kenmore was now spelled correctly. However, the entry doesn't look quite right. In fact, if we go back to our shoreline address and re-enter it, it no longer inserts the city and state. This is because we did not maintain the proper 30-character per line format. Without this proper formatting, ServiceDesk cannot correctly read the city file. The easiest way to find out which line of the city file is messed up is to select all the text. You can use Control-A to do this. As you scroll up, you can easily see which line of text does not match up with the rest. If you have several that aren't correct and you need a control to see how long a 30-character line should be, you can simply type out 30 characters at the beginning of the file. Control-A again to select them all, and you can see that all of your lines should match up with the end of that 0 character representing 30. Kenmore is missing 2 spaces, so we'll simply click on the line and space twice, 1, 2. Now if we Control-A again and scroll up, we can see that all the lines in our file are the exact same length. We'll go ahead and hit Home to go to the very beginning of this line of text, and then hold down our Shift key and arrow down once to delete this line. Once again, we'll save our file and go back to ServiceDesk. We can go ahead and re-enter our Kenmore address and see that it now inserts properly. And we can enter our shoreline address and see that it also inserts properly. Once again, after this change is complete, you'll want to be sure to copy the updated .cty file to any workstation that has ServiceDesk installed locally. This concludes this video. Thank you for watching How to Edit the .cty file.